God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this?
That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend.
Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee.
Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic. Huzzah!
Woke.
It looks like Chuck's taking the skin boat to Tuna Town.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
The funny thing about the Negabands on the TV show is that they're actually meant to be a big callback to the OG version of Captain Marvel, the very first version, who was a man called Mar-Vell, who did appear during the Captain Marvel movie in the MCU, but he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
What? What the fuck?
But he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
I hunted, Rob. I hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick.
Nerdrotic.com.
Oh, wait. Let's do that again. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner, everyone, because everyone needs a nooner, and it's always noon somewhere around the world, and you don't even have to have a nooner at noon. I have proven that many times with this show and other things. I mean, but apparently I'm a born-again virgin, according to some anonymous anime avatars on Twitter. So not sure how that happened, but cool. All right. Kind of a quiet week around here, guys. Not much to talk about. Just busy running victory laps. I'm getting in good shape, and I hope you are too. Just waving and running, looking smug, as we should as fellow members of the audience, fellow fans who were right for the last 4 years. And now Marvel's MCU chickens have come home to roost. And the Marvels is just around the corner. Some Access Media shills have already seen it.
What are you talking about, Gary?
Being a man of the people.
This article in Variety.
Being a man of the people, I'm going to wait to see it with you, okay? Because I'd rather see it with the... Oh, wait, it's going to be an empty theater, so that's a really bad analogy. Hi, Chris Gore, how are you?
I'm doing great, Gary. By the way, I was not invited to the screening of the Marvels.
Yeah, tell that story. Tell that story if you can, because it's a good one.
Funny. It's pretty funny because, a couple quick things. One, the people who did the press junket, which was over the weekend, they didn't show them the movie. They showed them 20 minutes of scenes.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Beep, beep. We're going to back up a little bit. There was a press junket over the weekend, and were they coming out and saying like they had seen the movie, or they had just shown them scenes?
They showed them 20 minutes of scenes from the Marvels, and yet they proceeded with the junket. So the people who attended the junket did not see the full film. They saw 20 minutes of scenes from the film. So there you go. And I was invited and then uninvited It was weird. They sent me an invitation on Monday, and the date was wrong. It was Thursday, October 7th, is what it said. And I pointed out, like, hey, it's not that date. I was speaking with some colleagues who said there's a screening at the AMC Burbank 16. They said that we have closed that list. I said, close the list. And plus, I've gone to those screenings. They're like a third full. So I thought it was very weird that, like, okay. And they never confirmed and I said, Alan, do you have a +1? Because he RSVP'd. Said, yes. So I was Alan Ing's X-Ray Girl's dad's +1 last night at the screening.
Wow.
I didn't know both of you swung that way.
Oh, they
Exactly.
do. Oh, they do. They're bros. They're bros. Big time bros. You know, I'm just his out of town bro, you know, his slice. But but Ing, the Merciless, is his bro, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I don't mind sitting next to Alan, even when he's eating his M&Ms and crinkling that packaging. Alan. There you go. Oh no!
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about this movie that we all knew was going to be absolute trash. And I love what you messaged me last night, which was, it's way worse than we could possibly imagine. And I can possibly imagine pretty bad. But that's astounding, especially since we'll get to the article. It's the one I put in the Discord. I might be able to find it, X-Ray Girl, if you can't. But it's the early reviews that came out today that in typical Marvel shill fashion are all saying kind of the same thing. Remember when Absolute Triumph was being used over and over again? This one is short but sweet. Or short, sweet, but fun. So like 3 different people saying variations, or no, 5 different people saying variations of the same thing. I don't know if it's just shill hive mind speak, or they're told to say it, not really sure, or they see one person say it, and because they're vacuous and they have no real fucking opinions or taste, that they just accidentally, subliminally repeat what the other NPC says. Not really sure. Kind of a common issue on Twitter and amongst the shill space. The shill community. Can we call it the shill? Yeah, I hate the word community, but it's so appropriate for the shill community. We are now going to call it the shill community.
Do it.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you just a couple quick things before we actually talk about the film itself.
Yeah.
One, I've never seen a more tepid reaction to a movie, a Marvel movie, than this. We're talking like, it was like quiet for the first 30 minutes, a couple chuckles here and there. Almost all the laughs have to do with Ms. Marvel's character, but it was really tepid reaction, which was strange. That was strange in and of itself. And then secondly, we're walking out of the screening after it's over and everyone's like, okay, we stayed to the very end, of course, because, you know, you never know, and walked out and everyone was like, that was not even as good as the Eternals. People saying it's bad. And a very specific person said, that was terrible. That was awful. Worse than the Eternals. And then I saw what this person posted on social media, which was completely the opposite.
Oh,
wow. What they said. And I'm not going to out that person just because I'm not, but I'll just, for your edification, Gary, I just told you who it was. So, and it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, so you fucking hated the movie, and we're it was all like, and it's what they call the all media screening, which is just, and everyone else, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's walking out. So that was unusual for me. It was really unusual. Like, oh, okay. Like, it seemed like, oh, we all kind of think alike. This was not very great, whatever. And then I look on social media and it's like we saw a different movie. It was really weird. It was weird. So,
Weird. Hang on. Let's take a look. The Rotten Tomatoes scores are up. I'll give you the, went up by a point. That's pretty shocking. Here you go, X-Ray Girl.
What are we up to?
We will see. I love the picture they put in because it seems like they were ready for what's to come. When you see the picture, you'll understand.
Oh my God.
Cool. Sorry, folks. I'm still fighting a cold. It's hanging on.
Yeah, dude.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I went to the gym. You get the link, X-Ray Girl?
Sorry. Yep.
All right.
So
where are we at?
We're at 55%.
That seems high.
That seems very high. The last time I checked, it was at 41 reviews. Now it's at 62. It went up 1%. So with like 21 more reviews, audience score will start piling in. Of course, they'll manipulate it because they changed their entire site for the predecessor to this film. I love one. Like, not everybody's loving it. Like, a couple of the critics have said it felt like a sequel to something we haven't seen, and this is people who have seen all the Disney Plus shows. Now, because I am the way I am going to sit through Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. I'm going to watch Miss Marvel. I'm going to watch Captain Marvel. I'm doing that today. Pray for me. Pray for me.
Actually, Gary, you don't need to. And I'll tell you why. In the opening of the movie, they basically synopsized season 1 of Ms. Marvel because they realized that no one saw it. So you get like this sort of montage of Kamala Khan and her life and her family and how goofy she is. And she's just a kid and she got these powers and blah, blah, blah. So actually, technically, you do not need to watch it because even Disney themselves realized. And it clearly seems like something that was added in whatever the reshoots are. They must have just added that. But there's...
I tell you why I watch it, though. Why I still do it.
Okay. All right.
Because, one of the things... and I'm not as thorough as someone like Mahler. I'm not. But, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Right. You want to catch if there's inconsistencies, and you can often catch like what they changed, and the reason they changed it was a reshoot, and doubt Nia DaCosta even saw a second of the Miss Marvel series. She probably got the rundown. Nobody really involved with the Miss Marvel series is involved with this movie. They were not asked. I can't say much. I'll just say that they wanted to be. Some of them wanted to be. But we'll just say that. That's the reason I do it. It's a lot of times, dude, it's a giant waste of time. It's a massive waste of time, but you never know. You might get one little clip, one little something or other. And those little clips that go in the videos, I'm not complaining. I love this part of the job. I watch hours of clips. Lady Gravemaster, Perry, Garrett, all go through them, and we use like a couple of seconds of each one, and we have to go through these dog shit, boring actors interviews. But I mean, that's part of the job. That's where you get some comedy gold, because if you dig deep enough, you'll find something that's just, oh, really? Or somebody accidentally says something, and it's worth doing. It's definitely worth doing. Dude, I learned that from... I was doing a Captain Marvel video. This was back in the day, way back in the day, and I listened to the Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi has a podcast. I think they still have a podcast, and that's where I caught that dude saying, "Listen, we throw softballs to the actors. We hold back. We don't tell the truth." And the guy just admitted it, and I'm like, "Wow, that was amazing honesty." So I put it in a video. Other people ran with it. But yeah, that was and I was just listening to I was going through articles, listening to a random podcast. This was way back in the day. But getting Access Media shills to admit that they're shills was a pretty big deal. And that was probably the beginning of the end of the Access Media. It took a long time, but now they're just, I don't even know if they're people anymore, to be honest with you. Like some of these articles are pretty bad.
It's weird because back in 2018, when Captain Marvel came out, I remember that I posted my thoughts, which was a negative review. It was sort of the first Marvel film that I'd seen at the time that was like, some were just mixed. Like, Iron Man 2 has problems or this has problems. It was the first one I actively disliked the movie. And what was different about, because I post my opinion about things, I've been doing that for years.
Yep.
Whether I'm in writing or whatever. It was the first time people went after me. And I thought, I didn't know that my opinion would trigger people so much. Hey, I didn't like a movie. That doesn't mean you are not welcome to like the film that I disliked. I'm just telling you my opinion. But I could not believe it. It made me basically quit Facebook, where I am not active on Facebook at all. And it was 2018. I remember I'm just like, this is not, I don't want to be a part of this. This isn't positive. F this.
No, well, and the other part of it that's not positive, the fundamental problem I think all of us have with shills is honesty.
Right.
So what they're doing, what the shills continue to do, even now with the Marvels, as we look at, if you want to find that article, if you know which one we're talking about, right? There we go. Is we know they're fucking lying. We know under their breath. And there's varying degrees of liking a movie, and like if somebody walks out of it and says it wasn't as bad as I thought, that's more of a real response than saying the same thing over and over again to you guys not being truthful so they can maintain their access, which means you don't fucking matter to them at all. You should, because you subscribe to their channel. We subscribe to their channels. We're the ones who support them, but they couldn't give a fuck because they want that crumb of Hollywood, of woke Hollywood pussy. That's what they want. That's all they fucking want. And they will do just about anything to get it. And that's why a lot of these older YouTubers are failed comedians, failed actors. They'll never say that. They'll still say they're a working actor. Yeah, I haven't done a movie in 6 years. And I did a bit part in a toothpaste commercial, back in 1999. I'm a working actor. That's the way it goes in Hollywood. That's the way it is. It's a rough town. And YouTube was a way for a lot of these people to get in early on. But with the evolution that started with whatever the movie space was, I never watched it. To be honest with you, I never watched Campy at AMC or fucking Collider. I never watched any of that stuff.
I did.
Till later. Well, till later when I started getting in, but they were kind of already on their way out. But the evolution was authenticity. People just wanted to hear the fucking truth. And it really got exposed when the shit got really bad. This has been the worst era of Hollywood ever. Sure, we've gotten some good things, but as far as the overall picture, not good. Not good
Correct.
at all. And all these people who are now going to pounce on the Marvels, and there's going to be some people, were probably the biggest offenders of Captain Marvel, right? And our whole point was, Brie Larson became the lightning rod, right, for thumbnails and everything, but it was ultimately about the character of Captain Marvel. I don't really care what Brie Larson does in another movie or a TV show. Hope she does great. But it was the character of Captain Marvel. And ultimately, we all saw what was coming, and now it's the end. And I know what you meant, Chris. You meant, it's the beginning of the end. I'm all, no, this is the end. The beginning of the end was a couple of years ago. This is the end. So let's scroll down a little bit, scroll up. You understand? You understand me, X-Ray girl. You hear that, Quarter Black Garrett?
Yeah, you scroll down to read the rest of the article.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it? All right. Oh, by the way, Quarter Black Garrett, a quick shout out to him. He's in the movie.
He's in the movie?
No. There's it's Dar-Ben, right? The character is the main villain, has like this side, this side crony, whatever you want to call it, who looks just like Quarter. You can't unsee it when I tell you. It has a man bun, and he's in the whole movie. And he's like her little side crony. And I'm just like, I look at Alan, I'm like, does that look like Quarter Black Garrett to you? He's in the whole, it's hilarious. We were dying. Like, and she's awful, by the way, just not a good villain, but that's sort of par for the course for Marvel.
Woman the Accuser?
Woman the Accuser, yeah.
Woman the Accuser.
She's not good at all.
No.
No gravitas, no.
Somebody in the real BBC chat put it best. Yesterday? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. That she just looks like a soccer mom in cosplay.
Oh my God, that's right. The funny thing is, I know some professional cosplayers, and their costumes are better than what was in this movie. Like, I've seen some really remarkable cosplay, especially at places like Dragon Con, and I'm shocked. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
What's up, Ryan? I see you in there, baby boy. You can come on if you want. You can come on if you want. I saw Yellow Flash in there too.
Yeah, I was talking to Ryan.
Probably busy. He's probably recording 4 videos right now. So.
Right. He's got 9 videos to do before the end of the day.
Yep. The Kree manager. Yes, Yellow Flash.
That's good. The Kree manager. That's true.
That's good.
And I can confirm. I mean, I don't know if you want to get into spoilers, Gary. Your show, you lead the conversation, but
yeah, I don't give a shit. The spoilers are out there. Those Mr. H spoilers were all right. You saw the movie. Were they all right? Yes or no?
100%.
There you go. Well, I say Mr. H.
Confirmation.
The Reddit rumors that Mr.
Right,
H
right.
read. There you go. Marvel has finally unveiled its latest tentpole. The Marvels and the film journalists are calling the Nia DaCosta directed tentpole a short, sweet, astonishingly wacky film that's full of girl power. Now, imagine you just had sex with your partner, okay? Some of you can imagine that. You just finished the deed, you know, and you turn over to your partner, and your partner says, and you're like, how was it? And they look at you and they go, short but sweet. You gonna take that as a compliment? I'm not. I'm not.
I'm gonna tell that to Mark next time. See what his reaction is.
Oh my God.
It's full of girl power. Oh my God.
Such a cringe statement.
It really is, but not as cringe as Black Girl Magic. Okay. Black Girl Magic. Is that the worst line in the movie, or is there worse?
Oh, there's worse.
Oh, shit.
There's worse. There's a scene where Ms. Marvel is in Captain Marvel's ship, and Captain Marvel's out flying and doing stuff, and she kind of breathlessly says, "Captain, oh my Captain."
Oh.
It's like, what is Ms. Marvel have a crush on Captain Marvel, like a lesbian?
Oh, they're
crush,
probably
like,
coded gay.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, 100% on
They're
that.
coded gay. Here we go. Although many have been hesitant about the superheroes movie potential, with a few already predicting the Marvels as a box office bomb, a surprising number of positive reactions poured in on social media Tuesday night. Washington Post reporter Herb Schiller described the film as exactly what a comic book movie should be. And how many comic books have you read, Herb? I think that's a statement from somebody who's never read one, but that's just me. While Deep Dive host Eric Voss called it astonishingly wacky. Oh, is that Eric Voss from New Rockstars? Oh my God. It's funny, silly, short and sweet, action-packed, love the cosmic sci-fi moments, Scribner wrote on Twitter. Plenty of MCU interconnectivity, or is that intersectionalism? Without being overbearing. So this is Herb, who said that, like, the Marvels is what a comic book movie should be. I want you to bookmark that one. Keep it in mind till after you don't see it, or after I see it, or somebody else. We'll see how much of that is true. Yes, so much yes. The film is so much fun and exactly what a comic book movie should totally be. It's funny, silly, short, sweet, action-packed. Love the comic sci-fi moments. Plenty of MCU interconnectivity without being overbearing. What's it say? We'll see again. Does it say we'll? We'll be talking about this movie for years to come. Whoa!
You will not be talking about this movie in 10 days. It's going to disappear. Not only is it going to disappear from theaters, it's going to disappear from conversation, because ultimately it's inconsequential, and the way it ends, you already know the ending if you know those the Reddit leaks. We'll get into it later.
Wow, that guy sounded like...
Yeah, it looks like Chuck's taking the skin boat to Tuna Town.
Oh my God.
Eric Voss from New Rockstar says The Marvels is astonishingly a wacky film. I had a lot of fun. Iman Vellani was born to be an MCU star. She elevates a tangled story into Marvel's nerd dream. Sometimes that dream wavers out of sync, but it sticks the landing. My non-spoiler review will be up on New Rockstars tomorrow. Wow. I thought they would actually, naive me, sweet summer child. I thought they would give up on this shit. Like, but no, like you got to admire Disney Marvel's commitment to just stick with the plan despite everyone knowing this is a giant piece of shit and knowing what's going to happen. And by the way, folks, internally knowing it's a giant piece of shit. Everybody at Marvel knows they are trying to sell you a fucking turd right now. And these people, yes, I said these people, the shill community is willing to lap it up. Kristen Maldonado, what's this one? Says, the Marvels feature, okay, you're going to scroll up a little bit. The most fun I've had watching a superhero movie in a while. What's a while? Like yesterday? The last hour? Not really sure. It's hilarious, action-packed, and full of girl power. Kamala was a standout, and so many moments surprised me. I'm glad Kamala was a standout in the Captain Marvel sequel. Most popular character, the Superman, who's a woman, of Marvel. It's exciting. There was a great balance of the team while dropping shocking bombs that will, oh, I thought it said cringe. Change everything. It's going to cringe everything. I think cringe everything is a better.
Look at the suit. Her butt looks so weird.
Yeah. What does she got? Like butt pads in there? Depends. Sorry. Is she wearing Depends?
Kind of looks like it.
Like seriously, how do you go to the bathroom in that thing? Like they explained it with the Iron Man armor. They did. Oh well. Let's go to another one. Ad removed. Good. You don't have ad blocker. I should.
No, I should.
Nate Richard from Nate Knows Movies. I went into the Marvels with extremely low expectations, and it wasn't half bad. Iman Vellani and what's her name are easily the highlights. Love their chemistry with Brie Larson. Unfortunately, the story is a huge mess with an underutilized villain and an underwhelming finale. There you go. Despite everyone on screen trying their best, the Marvels feels like it's lost its battle in the editing room. This is from Andrew J. Salazar. Scenes don't flow into each other, and you can't tell when the first act or the second act begins. There's a few really dope scenes, but studio interference might be to blame. But it won't be Kevin Feige's fault. It'll be everybody else's fault. And this is Clayton Davis, who says, the Marvels work for me. Female Avengers team up movie packs in the chuckles, the cats, the hairballs, and the musical sequences. Much more episodic than a cinematic in Denver. God, where did we hear that? Oh, Ant-Man. That's what people were saying about Ant-Man. It feels episodic. But I think it's greatest strength. Great post-credit scenes. Loved my leading lady trio. Oh my God. We don't need to read the rest. I might want to start redecorating my house if I do that. The Marvels is good. Is a good time at the movies. Definitely not everything works. And there were 2 cringe-inducing sequences that threatened to derail the whole thing. Are there 2 cringe-inducing sequences, Chris?
First of all, only 2? I mean, there's so many lines, like, I mean, we'll get into it. I just can't wait for FNT because there's so much to work with. The problem is this movie's going to disappear from conversation. Everyone's predicting it's going to bomb. That's going to happen. It's going to disappear as better films come out. I'm looking forward to seeing Poor Things with Emma Stone tonight. It's this weird little indie movie, but I cannot believe like this is where we are now with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they have dragged this out, phase 4, 5, 6, whatever. Like to this, they could have, if they told a multiverse story, maybe tell it over 3 movies and that's it. But that they built up to nothing is just, and this movie is just a bridging. It's a 90-minute, little over 90-minute Disney Plus special. That's what it is. It doesn't feel in any form like a movie. That's just get you to the next Marvel thing. So,
It says, but DaCosta can direct action sequences. But did she? She wasn't around for a lot of the post. She was doing Zoom calls.
How Marvel works is they tend to storyboard that stuff out first. So the director's really there to, direct the human interaction scenes, the ones with dialogue. And that was done so poorly. And I was talking about it on Geeks and Gamers Daily this morning. It's like Brie Larson is copying what she thinks emotions are. It's like the Chat GPT version of like when someone is sad, they look like this.
Well,
when someone
Chris,
feels bad, they look like this.
She said in interviews that she has no personal identity. She said it multiple times, like in prep for my next video. Yeah, she says, she's been acting. She was a child actor or something. She's been doing it for so long. She really doesn't have a personal identity.
Because she was so involved. I mean, this is a weird thing with actors sometimes that take themselves too seriously is they get so into the roles they don't have an outside life. Whereas a professional, say like a Nick Cage, who can be engrossed in a role, but he is Nick Cage. He knows who he is, whatever. I think that's a problem with growing up as a child actor. You don't have an opportunity to actually figure shit out and make mistakes. That's why when I look at someone like Rachel Zegler, who is clearly being influenced by a terrible social circle and whatever her management or team, my team, right? Like what they're telling her to say, or the things she's repeating that they've said. She's not a fully formed human being yet, I don't even know if you want to talk about the new Hunger Games. I saw it.
Oh, maybe later. Maybe later, yeah. Scroll down to Grace. We got Grace's in here somewhere.
I was watching Grace this morning.
Yeah.
She liked it.
Oh, she did. Of course she did. Of course Grace did. She also likes her hair.
Yeah.
The Marvels is short and sweet, plenty of laughs and action. I went in hoping it wouldn't be too bad and ended up with a smile on my face the whole time. Tons of surprises, big and small. Not just the end credit scene. Avoid spoilers. Oh boy. I can get rid of this. But there were some people who are real, most people are not, but that tune will change. Well, it's already starting to change. There's a bunch of critics who didn't like it, and it will continue to go down. And once the audience, what there is of the audience goes and see this. I went and checked this morning again, my local theater, and no tickets had sold. So nuts. Yeah. There's like 20 people in there, and it's the big theater. It's not IMAX. I haven't checked the local IMAX. I should. We'll do that before the end of the show.
Alan Ing is in an IMAX. He keeps checking to see if any other tickets are sold. He's the only one. He's like literally in the center. And it's just this one dot.
I saw that.
His seat is. It's so funny. Like, I mean, we'll check again. I don't know that he's going to go see it again. He did post a review on filmthreat.com, and he gave it a 4 out of 10.
That sounds generous. So,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, hi, X-Ray Girl. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, X-Ray Girl.
Chris.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Like, I don't care about spoilers or anything. Go.
Of course. I'll get into sort of my overall impressions, which I talked about this morning on G&G. But you'll get this analogy. Okay, let me just do this analogy quick for a sec to set it up. Superman 4: The Quest for Peace is a terrible movie.
Yes.
It's objectively a terrible movie. The special effects are the worst of the series. The story is dumb. It's incredibly stupid. However, Christopher Reeve is so likable and so he's the GOAT. I'm sorry, he's the GOAT. As Superman, both as Clark Kent, Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. He's also like that sort of like likable evil. But that movie's a mess. But it's saved by the fact that like you have cast like Margot Kidder, and Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman. They're great, but the movie is a terrible movie. Imagine a terrible movie, but no one is likable. So there's nothing redeeming. Meaning Brie Larson, I believe, is worse in this film than she even was in the first movie, and she was pretty bad. She has no character. And when I say character, like, I don't know who Captain Marvel is. And if I say to you, who is Steve Rogers? I know who that guy is. He's a guy that was a hero before he took the super serum. He was a hero when he jumped on that grenade as a gangly, skinny kid in boot camp to save everyone around him. He would sacrifice himself to save everyone. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, right? I mean, you know who he is. An arrogant narcissist who is humbled, builds an iron suit in a cave, and has a redemption arc looking at what the legacy of his family, what they have wrought on the world. It's a great story motivated by character. If I asked you who is Captain Marvel, I defy you to answer that. Because that character was never clearly created or defined, and that's Brie Larson's job. Conversely, think of other strong female characters. I'll point out just some of the ones that come up just because they're iconic and they're a point of reference for everybody. Linda Hamilton, right? In the Terminator series, Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, Gal Gadot more recently as Wonder Woman. They're really well-defined characters, and there's
Gamora, Nebula, a really good character.
Yes.
Scarlet Witch, good character.
Good characters, and they're complex.
Yeah.
There are layers to those characters, right? And they're not defined. Those characters are not defined by their costumes. They're defined by, when I say character, I mean attributes of their personality. Captain Marvel has no discernible personality. She is the grounding force, and no wonder they decided, instead of doing Captain Marvel 2, to do a movie called The Marvels, right? Taking two characters that were created in Disney Plus TV series that are not widely known. I'm sorry, they're just not. They're not to normies. They are not. And I would say, as much as I like the actress who plays Ms. Marvel, she's a TV actor. I don't think she's a movie star. And they actively almost go out of their way to make her look kind of dumpy. I think that they could make her look more complimentary. And Brie Larson looks anemically skinny in it, much more than even in Captain Marvel, right? Like Brie Larson just looks like she doesn't look all that great. But the story is you went through everything, right? It's just as dumb as you think. And I think Nia DaCosta definitely deserves a lot of the blame for this, because she's a credited writer. She's a co-writer with two other writers, one of the writers from WandaVision and another I don't know, wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can, here's the thing. The person who defined the cosmic Marvel was James Gunn. James Gunn defined what cosmic Marvel is. And
he was supposed to be in charge of it too at one time.
Right. I feel like, going back to the first Guardians movie, really defined, he did the world building. He did that heavy lifting, how it works. It's not hyperspace. It's these kind of portals you travel and whatnot, like how the different planets, going to different planets and what their culture is, real like a shorthand to kind of get you up to speed to how things work. None of that world building is here at all. And some of the worst production design that we've seen in a Marvel movie, where the NPC type characters, like your NPC type guards or warriors, are in costumes where it's like, have they run out of ideas for good costumes? One of the costumes, the armor, is this sort of like weird rainbow translucent stuff that someone thought, oh, that's really cool. No, it's not. It looks bad. It just objectively looks bad. And you can see that they were trying really hard to spend the money on the special effects. Yet in spite of that, there are like, you really got to pay attention. There's a few shots where you're like, wow, this isn't that bad. Like that looks pretty good, in terms of like, we're getting, here's this city and whatever. And then there'll be like a couple shots where you're like, oh, someone did that last minute and not the best person. Like where there's like a couple shots you can tell that are just god awful. But wait, did it go down?
That is the top critic score.
The top critic score.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow. All right. Well.
Yeah, that's the top critic score.
It really comes down to Captain Marvel as a character was never well defined. I would say you can also fix that with casting. Imagine someone like a Katie Sackhoff. Not saying Katie Sackhoff wouldn't have struggled against the terrible dialogue and story, but she's just more likable on her.
She's more likable on the red carpet in person, and more fitted to the character, even age-wise. Right. Carol Danvers is a grown mid-30s, I would say. Right. If you wanted to be consistent with the whatever the MCU ages are, but you had Robert Downey Jr. in his 50s. Everybody getting pretty old, Right. It was poorly cast, poorly executed, and what you did was you didn't even adapt the right version of Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers is Miss Marvel. She's not Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's a recent incarnation. And by the way, was it you who told me? Kelly Sue DeConnick was also a consultant on this film as well.
Oh, she's in the credits. She's in the credits.
So Kelly Sue DeConnick, a Portland whack job, who recreated. They basically made Miss Marvel into Captain Marvel because Marvel wanted their own Superman, right? They wanted their own Superman. They also wanted to hold on to those Captain Marvel rights that they were able to kind of usurp from the original Captain Marvel, who's Shazam, right? And so they turned this character, Miss Marvel, that most comic characters liked, had no problem with, had her own series, had a couple of series that did okay, and they turned her into an insufferable bitch. And they adapted the insufferable bitch part, and they did it perfectly. They did. So that Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, acts pretty consistently. Maybe it's a little softer version of the annoyingly bad, awful, help destroy Marvel Comics version of Captain Marvel that's been forced into every fucking story, and has had multiple books canceled and relaunched. I lost count at 5. Miss Marvel, same thing. And the true real female Captain Marvel was Monica Rambeau from the 80s. And how'd they treat her? She was terrible in WandaVision. Her origin was terrible. Her actions are terrible. She let a murderous torturer let go. She just let him go and took her side because woman.
Yeah, she's this professor who knows everything and is smarter than everybody.
Yes.
And what was weird was
because
how
we
much
need women in STEM.
There's so much of them sitting around talking and explaining what the plot is, and it goes by so quick, and you're like, none of this matters. You have not showed me why this matters. They attempted, but I can definitely see them in the room thinking that what they were doing was, this is so clever. This is so clever. You know what the story is, that so Dar-Ben is going to all these planets. She goes to one planet and steals all the air. Then she's going to go to another planet and she's going to steal all the water. And then she goes to Earth to steal the sun, to basically renew her planet of
Why would you even need to go to Earth to steal the sun?
She's just going to take the Earth's sun and take it to Hala. So now
X-Ray Girl, share this just for the headline. Keep going, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to put visual aids up, but thanks. Thundercats host sent me this.
What is it? I
this. Look at this headline.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
This is going to be such a fun week. Oh man. The Marvels review. The Marvel Cinematic Universe disappears up its own black hole.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes! I love it. Oh, I fucking love it.
I'm gonna have to go to the Irish Times for all my entertainment news now. That's great. From the Irish Times.
Okay. Yeah. So pity Brie Larson. Is it Teyonah Parris and Samuel L. Jackson? This is a solid contender for the worst Marvel film yet. I'm going to ask you while you're in the mid-review, is it worse than The Eternals?
100. Oh, we were saying that as we were walking out of the theater.
Oh, okay,
The Eternals was trying for something, failed, but was trying to do something god awful in the end. This is just on every level that you could look at a film and critique it, it's bad. But the main thing, but even what I was saying with my comparison to Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, in spite of everything about that movie being bad, it still had Christopher Reeve and likable characters.
Somebody was asking me that on my Square Up, how do I feel about Superman 3 and 4? And they're like, horrible movies that I own and watch. Because of the earnestness of Christopher Reeve. He's so great in both of them. And like a lot of people like Batman and Robin. Like, I hate that movie and I will not own it. But there are people who like enjoy it knowing it's bad, and that's understandable. And at least the director for that came out and apologized for it. Right. Which is a manly move. May he rest in peace, by the way. Joel Schumacher. Who if he was a good choice, by the way. That's a whole, he did some stuff that when he was announced, we were excited. I was like, oh, shit. Guy did Lost Boys and Falling Down, doing a Batman movie?
Down.
Fuck yeah.
It'd be good.
It didn't turn out. But this is a great headline. Hail the Irish Times. Bless your heart for winning the day with the best headline. God damn it. I got to tweet that. Hang on.
So this story is so dumb. Like, when they find out what her plan is to take the air from one planet, the water from another planet, and Earth's sun to Hala, they bring it to Hala as basically to renew that planet, right? So it's just it's something that in the room they probably thought was very clever, but is just dumb. It's one of those things where it's like, I mean, to be fair, James Gunn has a lot of weird, wacky ideas, but he somehow grounds it and makes it real. And the thing about James Gunn is he knows the comics. This movie feels as if it's made by a person who's never read a comic, any comic at all, and how that functions from the production design to even just the whole just concepts. The thing with the Flurkin, did you guys get into like the Flurkins and how they kind of fit into the story? X-Ray Girl's probably going to like this part, actually. There's a lot of kittens in this movie. So the Flurkin that's in the movie has a bunch of kittens. And those kittens are used to transport people from this space station because they ran out of enough escape pods.
Because when the Flurkin eats you, it just transfers you to, you're just being sucked into another dimension, correct?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. So that's how they use that. Which takes
away the fucking joke. I mean, like, just have them eat people. That's supposed to be funny. Like, that's...
Yeah.
But having the Flurkin having kittens is... I wasn't the biggest fan of Baby Groot. Okay, I like the little thing at the end, of Guardians, but it just became marketing. Baby Groot gave birth to Baby Yoda, by the way. If you don't think that's exactly what happened, the marketing research thought, hey, that Baby Groot thing works. Let's do a Baby Yoda fucking Star Wars, shit. Then that's what gave birth to it. But yeah, it reeks of marketing. It's like, I even joked about it when I said they went full Scrooged to you. Because if you remember, Scrooge is a parody of, it's the timeless tale of, but it's also a parody of television at the time and where television and entertainment were going, and a parody of Hollywood, directed by the great Richard Donner, by the way, and a fucking great movie. And I just got it in 4K. It's available in 4K now. You should, but they remember Robert Mitchum and Bill Murray have hey, do you know cats and dogs are watching TV right now? And in 20 years, they could be regular viewers. That's the kind of bullshit that went into, we need more kittens in the Marvels, because let's really just lay into what our audience is now, what the MCU is. It's a bunch of, childless wine ants. I can't even say wine moms. We'll say wine ants with cats. That's their audience right now. Unfortunately, there's not that many of them who are willing. They're too busy. They're too busy, transitioning their children to actually go see the MCU right now. So there's that. But that's what this audience was. Marvel was purchased for the same reason Star Wars was purchased. Disney was a girls' brand. Disney was a girls brand, and they needed to bring in more men and boys. And they just turned the men and boys brands into girls brands because Disney is a girls brand and always will be.
Well, yeah, I mean, Disney and Star Wars are for they making it for girls. They figure they have the boys anyways, based on the brand, based on the name recognition, and the sort of husk of a skeleton or a meat skin that Marvel and Star Wars are now. Like that's all that's left. But it's both brands are girl brands now. So yeah, it's
So you said there's some pretty horrible lines in this.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, just cringe stuff. I mean, the woman who plays Ms. Marvel has like Kamala Khan has all the comic relief lines. One of the worst is when she says, "Captain, oh my captain." Like there is this movie. I mean, like the thing is this, I almost think it's cowardly. Like, look, if you want them to be gay, just have them be gay. It's fine. But the way that like Carol Danvers talks about Monica Rambeau and how she screwed up and the relationship with her daughter, it's almost like a weird grooming thing. Like when you think about, hey, Captain Trouble, like she has this, like, and there's just she tries to explain this reason as to like why she left Earth and didn't return and was gone all that time. And it's the most lame explanation you'll possibly hear. She was trying to fix the mistake like that she made, like, from the first movie or whatever. It's so like such a non-explanation that makes no sense.
So Woman the Accuser, you can, okay, can you state, is she connected to Thanos in any way?
God, I don't even remember. I don't remember if
so. I'll take that as a no. They directly in that in the last two trailers they tried to connect her as in the last one. They leave it off with my work will be finished by someone else, and they go right to Woman the Accuser, who's got Ronan's hammer that works like it did with an Infinity Stone. Does it have an Infinity Stone in it, Chris?
Right.
Does it have one?
They never made that clear.
Okay.
She's just they figured out what her goal is to steal the elements from these other planets to reinvigorate her own planet, and she blames Captain Marvel for everything. So she's not a very good villain. I mean, it's again the Marvel villain problem. That's sort of something that they've struggled
if
with.
They're alluding that she's finishing Thanos' work, it's wiping out half the fucking universe. Okay, so she's not wiping out half the universe. She's trying to rebuild her homeworld by taking resources. And she's punching holes in reality, right? With this hammer. How in the fuck can this hammer punch holes in reality?
I don't know. Nothing is really... It's all like whatever space magic. Is what it is.
But they've set up the multiverse falling apart in 3 separate things.
Yes.
In Loki, they've set it up in Doctor Strange Mom, and they've set it up in No Way Home. And do they connect it to any of this?
Not really. No, not really.
You're already forgetting the fucking movie, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I forgot about it when I walked out. But one of the, I mean, it's just the thing is this, I don't care. Maybe it's like, I feel like when you're invested, you really, I wasn't invested, not in the characters or in the story. One of the worst scenes, to go through some of it, and we could talk the spoilers ending if you want, but it's all accurate. I would add a few details that weren't in those reports. But when she goes to the planet where she has the marriage of convenience with the Asian dude, and they sing their languages, they sing everything, but they don't understand you if you talk. So if you talk, they don't understand you. But if you sing,
how long is that scene? That sounds like the ninth circle of hell.
It's like maybe 5-10 minutes in the middle of the movie.
Thank God.
And it's built up to be this sort of Bollywood big deal. No, it's awful. You can tell it was also cut down. It had to have been cut down because it was just insufferably long. But then it's revealed that which I guess this guy's, is he like a big pop star in Japan, or Is he a Korean pop star?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Well, X-Ray Girl is here.
Yeah, X-Ray
I don't
Girl.
listen to J-pop or K-pop, but I can do some research.
Yes, please research this.
Park Sejun?
Yeah, so he can understand her because he speaks 2 languages.
He's bilingual, which means
Yeah.
he can talk and sing and talk.
And it's weird. She goes into this thing. She goes onto his world like wearing like jeans and a T-shirt. It's weird. And then she puts this thing on her
Does
head.
she have the tight white top on? Because that's what girls wear. Men don't wear tops. Men don't wear tops and everybody else in the UK.
Yeah.
Because Ryan will like that scene.
That's a cute top. She's often pictured with the top on, and then like her Captain Marvel costume is kind of pulled down to her waist. There's a couple of scenes with that.
Ryan's gonna love that.
He'll love that. But that scene is just so out of place. And then there's a speech she gives before they go down to this planet, like, hey, I gotta warn you, I'm kind of famous on this planet. And she builds up this whole thing of like how and then it's like she's walking through and she's like a princess. You can tell they wrote this scene to basically appeal to Brie Larson personally. You know, she's kind of a big deal on this planet. I just don't know. The thing is, the work wasn't done in the first movie to define who this person was.
Exactly. And then you had so many other shows bleed into it that you had to watch.
Right.
I'm sorry. Did you watch Miss Marvel? You might have mentioned that earlier.
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
I watched the first 2 episodes only. And then I saw what happened.
I only saw one.
Yeah.
Did you watch all of WandaVision?
I didn't watch the last couple episodes.
Okay.
But once it got to the
yeah.
I just lost interest in all of those. We're like, I don't know where this is going. And same thing with Loki. First of all, I can't believe I'm watching Loki season 2. Nothing happens in every episode. I don't understand what the pressing drama is at all. It's just not clearly defined. Aside from the fact that like Loki isn't Loki, and now we find out that Mobius is like a jet ski salesman. Like it's just so dumb. Like
right.
That last episode.
Let's get to the end part. Right. Let's get to the end.
The ending. Let's go. What's going to be disappointing for you, I think, is going to be how little conversation there is to have about this movie. There's going to be so little to discuss because it's so short and sweet. And I just don't see where they go from here. And how are they going to retain the ongoing audience if this thing bombs, which it looks like all accounts it's going to, even if you look at just look at ticket sales. They're building to a story that no one is invested in.
Okay, so aside from we're going to discuss they're already out there on Twitter, by the way. If you want to see all the post-credit scenes, they're all out there. But what exactly, how does this set up the multiversal saga? Because that's, again, this is another thing we're told sets up the multiversal saga. Is it just Woman the Accuser's hammer punching holes in reality?
Yeah. So her hammer basically breaks into one of the multiverses, right? And Professor Marvel, because they never actually give her a name. They never give her a name. And a lot of people are speculating Photon. It's just not official. So her character ends up she has to, in order to repair this multiverse tear, she has to go to the opposite side of it and fix it from the other side. No, by the way, she says a lot of things in the movie without, she just knows it. You just have to trust that she knows it. No, there's no logic where it's like, this is sort of how the world works. It's like, she just says, I have to go to the other side to repair the tear from the opposite side. No, don't go there. You'll be trapped in that other multiverse. So basically, she sacrifices herself going to this other multiverse to save her universe, and ends up getting trapped into what turns out to be some universe where a version of, her mother is there, but she's dressed as some, looks
as
like
binary. It's binary.
It's okay.
Which is another name for Miss Marvel. It's another name Miss Marvel used. All right.
Right. so she's there. She wakes up to her mother and then also sees Kelsey Grammer Beast.
Although in this case, sorry to interrupt you, it should be non-binary.
Right. But
if you see what she looks like, you'll know what I'm talking about. That joke is actually funny. Go on.
Her hair is very short.
Yeah.
So then Kelsey Grammer Beast is there, but it looks like it's just digital. I was like, he's not on screen for very long. I'm like, wait, what? I'm looking. It's not Kelsey Grammer in makeup. It looks like it's 100% digital. They just scanned his face and put it on a digital beast and just did it last minute.
It looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad.
Absolutely terrible. They're going for more the X-Men animated series looking beast, which, given time would look cool, but it just looks like Flash CGI to me. Now, did you see the end credit scene? In the theater?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So
they showed it.
So how did it look to you? I mean, I'm watching like a phone capture, so I could.
Okay. It looks bad. He's got like the sort of like teeth on the bottom. It's like he's got kind of an underbite. So it is slightly redesigned, but he's not in makeup. It's digital. It's a digital with Kelsey Grammer's voice and face. And then there's the other. It's not a post-credit scene. It's like a credit. Is it mid or just before the credits? And then they do these cartoon credits that go forever.
Where that's a mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
There's two, right?
Yeah, there's two.
Okay.
So then there's Ms. Marvel goes to visit Kate Bishop, and she basically repeats the speech that Nick Fury said about putting together a team. She just does all the lines. I don't know how first of all, I don't know how she would know that.
I can't believe they kept that in.
Yeah. She sits down and then she mentions that I hear Scott Lang has a daughter, they're basically putting together the Young Avengers.
Except they're like with one Young Avenger, with one of them.
Right. Well, she makes a joke about it. She's like, I'm 23 actually.
Well, the Young Avengers comic book as a short series centered around Iron Lad, I don't want to spoil it, is actually pretty good. It's pretty good. It's Marvel's attempt at a Teen Titans. It should have never really gone beyond that. Especially when the kids of WandaVision, one of them was originally called it's Wiccan and I'm going, help me chat. But the original name for him, the gay character, was the Asgardian, which we made a lot of jokes about at the comic shop because the gay character was the Asgardian.
Right.
Because we're 12. But that's why they changed the name. That's why they changed the fucking name immediately. Yes. There was Wiccan. Yeah, because Wiccan is what they changed his name to, and it was at Speed. Yeah, it was the other one. Speed and Wiccan, but Wiccan was originally called like the Asgardian. And there was a Hulk that ended up being Skrull. And it was a pretty good story. I liked it. But in the MCU, it will be it won't even be made. That's why I'm like, why are they putting this scene in? So now you're committing to making probably a shitty Disney Plus show. This won't be a movie, but
it looks like it's another setup to a thing that you're setting up new stuff that isn't paying off.
That's not.
It sort of reminded me of my frustration watching Twin Peaks back in the day. They'd always introduce some other wrinkle that wouldn't pay off, except when David Lynch was doing that was the point. But with this stuff, we've come to expect that if you're setting something up, you better pay it off. Except, will the audience even be there to watch this?
No,
that's the problem.
I would want them. There is a now. I would love them to pay off, just so I could laugh at it. But by the time this pays off, nobody is going to care because again, we are at the end. This is the end. This is the end for Marvel. This is the end for MCU. It was in question for a while. It's like, this is shit, but they could still turn things around, right? It wasn't like Disney Star Wars, which has been over for a couple of years now. They just don't know it yet. But it's over. It's over. Both franchises need to shut it down and walk away for years. And then recast your main characters, the people actually, care about, like Captain America and Iron Man. Sony will continue to make Spider-Man until they, in the movies, replace him with Miles Morales, and then they'll screw that up and nobody will watch it. Because Miles Morales is Miles Morales. And listen, anybody can be Miles Morales, but only Peter Parker can be Spider-Man. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
But there's a whole thing with the Skrulls. The Skrulls are sort of there's the Skrull settlement, and it's attacked, and they're stealing the air.
Are the Skrulls good? The settlement, is it good Skrulls?
Good Skrulls in terms of the design?
No, as in like, are they good guys or bad guys?
Oh no, they're good guys.
Skrulls are villains. Skrulls are villains. They're not fucking good guys. They're not an immigration allegory or a colonization allegory, which sounds like it's going to be in this place. So
the impression I get, it's like they're space Jews. I mean, don't that may be a hot button thing, but like they're kind of like
Jews in space. It's in space,
but it's
history of the world. Sorry.
So the scene consists, they're trying to save the Skrulls, which consists of them. I'm not making this up. Okay. Not making this up, which consists of Kamala Khan and Photon Chick. Like they've got these shuttles and they're just saying, come on, let's go. Come on. And they're going like this with their hands, like get in the ship. That's how they're saving people. I mean, Kamala Khan does a thing where she kind of saves people.
Why does Captain Marvel pilot a ship when she can fly? Is she the only one who can fly the ship?
I don't know. And she doesn't need to. She can. I mean, I'm sure they established.
She could literally fly under the ship and would make it go faster than the actual ship would go. Why would she pilot a ship?
Again, I think this movie is made by people who just don't read comic books because they're just different ways to solve these problems.
Ding.
But it's a very much, that's why it felt like a Disney Plus show because, you know, a lot of superhero shows since I've been watching them, and we're talking about, I watched a show called Shazam when I was a kid that was on Saturday mornings.
Yes.
Where a young Billy Batson drives around with this old man in a motorhome. Nothing weird about that.
Nothing at all. Weird. In the 70s, we never thought that was weird.
Well, most of the conflict in those shows was a tree fell on someone's leg. I'm going to lift the tree.
Oh,
this boulder is blocking the road.
In this show, when he talked to the wizards, they were cardboard cutouts.
Right. It's bad. But it's what we had back then.
That's what we had. Freaking loved Shazam.
That's when ISIS was a hero.
ISIS was a hero. I remember what we watched. I watched ISIS. I watched Shazam. That was Sid and Marty Krofft, was it? Did they produce that?
Sure,
I can't remember who produced that or not.
But I mean, it was cheesy, but it was cool. Like they'd show the really bad blue screen Captain Marvel flying, like whatever. I get it. But like what I'm saying is mostly back then when they didn't have money for special effects, the things that a lot of superheroes did was they would save people by like basically doing what, you know.
Well, that's what we miss, right?
Right.
You know, Spider-Man saving people, Superman saving a bus of kids. You know, we need more heroic moments.
Right. But what saving them consists of is directing them to the entrance to a shuttle like a stewardess.
This way. I'm a superhero.
That's what they do. They're just like, come on, let's go. And I'm thinking, there's probably more you could do. You all have superpowers.
One of them even says in her trailer she's invincible. She's omnipotent. Like Captain Marvel's omnipotent, invincible. She can receive no damage, fly around in space. Like why is she directing? She could fly at the speed of light, so she could just fly all that crew. But like.
I'm saying like just from a clever standpoint, it's not very clever at all. And the cosmic, it's the worst we've seen the cosmic universe that I think James Gunn built that. He really did build it. He has to get credit for that.
He helped build it. He helped build it, but he also took from a comic book series, like a lot from that comic book series, which actually built it. So. Annihilation. Great comic book series you should read. That came out during Civil War, which was actually Mark Millar, I love you. Annihilation was better than Civil War. But I love you, Mark Millar. You know I do. So Nia DaCosta came out and tried to like really minimize that she took off at the end of the movie. And have you ever seen that clip? So some YouTuber, whatever, is interviewing her. Nothing against the guy except for what he says. So she's all, listen, and like, Yellow Flash, I saw your video, and I agree to a point. Like, they have been dicking her around, right? She had committed 2 years, and they kept changing the release date. She had other shit to do. I get it. You're also a young, inexperienced actor, and you took off, and that looks bad. And Marvel's going to make her look bad after this. They're going to try to blame it on her when it's ultimately Kevin Feige's fault. Whoever's fault it is, they drug that movie on so long that the inexperienced director who wrote this film took off during production and did Zoom calls as they finished the film while she worked on some little Tessa Thompson film. Whatever. But the interviewer, my takeaway is the interviewer goes, Steven Spielberg left Jurassic Park for Schindler's List or the other way around. And I'm like, you just compared Nia DaCosta to Steven Spielberg? Bruh, stop. No. Okay, just fucking stop. Nia DaCosta, her name will not come up again in any major film ever again. Like, this is it. And this is the danger of, I'm not going to say she knew because I can't read her mind, but this is the danger of casting directors and not hiring them. And more importantly, knowing that you're being cast based on your identity and not your overall skill, because now your name and your identity are attached to the biggest flop in the MCU.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, I actually kind of don't blame her either. I mean, she deserves more of the blame because she's a co-writer on it, but you get like a fee, and Disney is famous for giving up and comers a chance and then paying them garbage.
Well, that's the whole point.
Right.
Yeah.
So she clearly was like, look, I'm working with this big corporation that's basically just telling me what to do. I'm going to F off and go make something else with Tessa Thompson. That'll be a smaller movie. Well, I'll have more control, where I'm not having 7 meetings about why something has to be a certain way or why some effect we can't do this sequence or whatever. So I kind of don't blame her for effing off. I really don't, because they dragged their feet on putting this out. It's not like they're increasing their fee just because it took longer. So I would give her a little bit of a pass for me. But this is the thing: hire directors that are really good filmmakers. And I think based on this, I think Marvel's going to start having, and Disney in general is going to start having, I mean, they already must have this promise, just attracting the really good talent.
And they can't anymore.
They can't anymore. They can't. I mean, the people that were there that were the really good talent at the beginning, the Jon Favreau, James Gunn, they've moved on.
The way they treated Kenneth Branagh, like not bringing, he was like, I'd have done a sequel. They never called me. And you go back and look at the first Thor movie. That's a well-directed movie. That is a well-directed, well-acted film with like really powerful character moments in this little, it's almost a bottle episode because they built that little town, right? And they got a big tax break for New Mexico, and they shot a lot of it there. But it still worked. Yeah, I think it's a really good movie. And I thought Kenneth Branagh like brought it on that one. Didn't even call him back. Let Edgar Wright walk. Edgar Wright's Ant-Man would be considered top 5 Marvel movie, maybe top 3. Edgar Wright would be perfect for Ant-Man. His test footage blew away Comic-Con. Absolutely blew away Comic-Con. And what they did in the first Ant-Man movie was a semi-decent Edgar Wright impression. But after it got away from that, it just turned into MCU garbage. Marvel needed to give a little bit, as far as their creative talent. And they drove away Jon Favreau. They drove away Joss Whedon. They drove away Edgar Wright. They didn't even call back Kenneth Branagh. And what's the consistent person in this scenario that never fully gets the blame? The Teflon man, Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige has been fully in charge of everything Marvel Studios, marketing, merchandising, publishing since 2019. And what's it done since then? Die. Yeah. Do you get rid of Kevin Feige? I mean, I can't even make that argument, because if you did, it would probably be worse. What you do is you put him, and corporations never do this. They never dial things down, which you need to do. But that's not the way corporations are built. You can't dial things down. He needs to go back to running 2 movies a year. That's it. Mm-hmm. And maybe finding somebody who's a little stronger on the television side. This is after you give it a break for 10 years, because this is the only way it's going to fix it. Yeah. But it's a rumor, but what's going around now about Fantastic Four, it's going to take place. They're going to be the only heroes on that world. Again, it's a fucking rumor. I don't, right now there's an actor's strike. So any casting announcements, unless they happen before the strike, are bullshit, because actors are not supposed to negotiate with struck studios. That's the first fucking rule of a strike, unless they got some waiver. So Robert Downey Jr. is not in negotiations to be Iron Man, whatever. But the rumor about Fantastic Four is they're going to be the only superheroes on their planet, and it's going to feature Galactus and Frankie Ray Nova, who is a herald of Galactus well after Silver Surfer. So you're going to replace Silver Surfer with Frankie Ray.
That's weird.
No, that is freaking that is as retarded as introducing Adam Warlock after Thanos is dead.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why don't they use the Silver Surfer? It's a great character.
Yes, and it's a seminal character. The Silver Surfer is a seminal character who was a huge part of the Infinity Gauntlet, by the way. You know that scene where Hulk falls through the Sanctorum and says Thanos is coming? That's Silver Surfer scene. Yeah. That's Silver Surfer scene in the comic books that they set up, and it spreads all through his solo comic, and it's great, by the way. And yeah, they pissed that away because they didn't have the rights, but now they do. And they still don't use the Silver Surfer.
Wow, that's a horrible rumor.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
I hope it's not true.
It doesn't surprise me.
No. Yeah. Tim Story's Fantastic Four movies are probably going to be better. to tell you the truth.
I never liked those. I thought they were all like, well, I guess some of the character interplay was fine, but
Doctor Doom was shit.
Doctor Doom was terrible, and also the budget was anemic in terms of the effects. You could see that, like, oh, we have no money. And I remember they reported the budget for Fantastic Four, and I'm thinking, who did they give the money to? They probably gave the money. And then I remember seeing like a block of producers. And I'm thinking, that's who got the money, because they didn't spend it on the movie.
No.
At all.
Doug Jones as Silver Surfer with Lawrence Fishburne's voice. I mean, the effects were bad, but that's a good choice. I have no problem with that. Jessica Alba being naked in one scene. That's a good choice. That was a good marketing choice. Chris Evans was good as Human Torch. He was.
But I have a beef with Chris Evans because he's played 2 characters in the Marvel universe, both of which are blonde and wouldn't color his hair or wear a wig. And
well,
he's actually kind of annoying.
He's wearing a wig in Endgame.
Right.
That is definitely a wig. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably because of reshoots or whatever. Who knows?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, who knows? But like he plays a blonde. Put a blonde in the movie. Yeah. Johnny Storm is blonde.
Yes, he is.
Ugh, so annoying.
Yes, he is. So, anything else you want to say about the Marvels? Are you going to go see it again? You're going to run
I'm seeing it again on Thursday with my movie meetup group. We're all going to go see it together. But
is Paulie going to see it with you?
Paulie's going to see it. Dante's going to see it.
Dante. There you go. Love Dante.
Go. Yeah, but it's I mean, I'm looking forward to talking about it with Alan, because we didn't talk about it all that much last night. His review just posted on filmthreat.com. He gave it a 4 out of 10. So I guess that's a 40%.
40%. Did he like Iman Vellani? Is that her name? That's what a lot of people are saying. Like, she's just, I don't know. She seems nice and personable.
She seems nice.
But it sounds like it also looks like it would get really annoying in the movie, but that's just me.
It does get annoying.
Yeah.
She's the comic relief. She's overused. And she's a kid, so it's like they've got this kid with them, right? And it ties in because one of the bangles, is it a bangle? Is it a wrist cuff? What are we calling that?
A bracelet.
The bracelet.
The Nega band.
Make sure you say it carefully.
You're careful.
I've seen some footage going around online, Gary.
That's Eric. That's Eric. That ain't me.
Oh my God. That was so funny.
Oh my God, I about died when that happened.
Good. Real BBC was so great yesterday. Oh, I was dying.
Well,
but anyway, but so Darben has the other band, right? That's everybody. I think people know that, right? So
Darben.
Darben. Is it Darben? I don't know.
It's Darben. But Woman the Accuser is so much better. But yeah, here you go.
The funny thing about the Negabands on the TV show is that they're actually meant to be a big callback to the OG version of Captain Marvel, the very first version, who was a man called Mar-Vell, who did appear during the Captain Marvel movie in the MCU, but he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
What? What the fuck?
But he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I mean, there's so much to pick apart. I think my analogy of Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, because so much is dumb in that movie, like Superman swinging like a fishing net filled with nuclear rockets.
No.
I mean, it's stupid. That's the level that this movie is at. It's like, we're going to go to one planet and steal all the air. Then we're going to go to another planet. We're going to steal all the water. Then we're going to go to Earth and we're going to steal the sun. It's
when you could have just stole the air and the water from Earth and then the sun.
I guess it's so stupid. It's just, like I said, it's like it was written by someone.
Couldn't you just terraform a planet?
That's her plan.
If you could pop holes in another universe, couldn't you just find another planet?
I guess. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, she doesn't just want to like get these resources. She actually wants to humiliate Captain Marvel because of what she did.
The Annihilator. You took everything from me. Hey, the critic score has dropped to 52%. 52%. We have 88.
What was it before?
It was at 54%. We have 88 reviews now.
Right.
I can read some of these here. We can put these up.
Yeah, let's do it. But the audience score I always find is just more
I'll give you the link.
honest.
On Rotten Tomatoes, right?
Here, share this link.
I've always preferred the audience score. I feel like it's just more authentic. Like they have paid to see the movie.
Well, let's keep in mind that Rotten Tomatoes changed their entire algorithm and platform for Captain Marvel, the most protected movie of all time. All because two Jeremys made 3,000 videos on them and then stopped. Oh, no, Quartering didn't stop because I just think he wants to have more videos than Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
Are they in a contest or something?
They might be.
Unofficial.
You know, Quartering had the famous Bree Shed.
Right. That's hilarious.
Sean P. Memes liked it. And he is the movie critic, the only one. Okay, never heard of the guy. With the possible exception of 2017's Thor Ragnarok, Marvel hasn't gotten as consistently funny and lighthearted as it does in the Marvels director Nia DaCosta's rollicking and charmingly ridiculous variation on Marvel's superhero action genre. Because being silly is like totally, they haven't done that at all. Well, the Marvels definitely stumbles with a few important elements like its early pacing, but the risks the Marvels take succeed far more often than they backfire. Do you agree with this, Chris? This is from The Verge.
100%. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just this dwindling interest in the universe as a whole, right? Like the decision to do a multiverse story that would have been good for, one big movie and you just throw it all in that, right? Like if you look at the box office performance of Marvel films, it's always the Avengers films are bumps because, right, they're team ups. You see characters that generally don't interact with each other interacting. That's interesting, right? So I just think that normies will have checked out. It's only going to be diehards, and what they're leading to is I just think that's something that's not all that interesting. We kind of know where it's all going, right? So,
Yeah, down the tubes.
yeah, down the tubes. That's why going away, I mean, a lot of people talk about, you've talked about it. Going away is probably the best option. Go away for 2 years, make us miss it because there's too much. I mean, some of these reviews here in this Rotten Tomatoes story say just that, like it kind of has overstayed its welcome. What is it, Christy Lemire? A narrative and visual jumble, and the clearest evidence yet that maybe we don't need some sort of Marvel product in theaters or on streaming at all times. You know?
Yeah.
That says a lot.
It does. We have Don Shanahan from Every Movie Has a Lesson. I guess he didn't learn any lessons. He says, The Marvels is an electric blast of welcome, pure and multiplied girl power. So there's a lot of the praising is the girl power, Because every dude wakes up in the morning going, you know what? I'm going to go see a superhero movie. I hope there's girl power in it.
Yeah.
When in truth, that's when they're about to go look at porn. But there you go. Grace Randolph loved it.
Yes, she did.
The Marvels is a lot of fun. And at 1 hour and 45 minutes, short and sweet. The chemistry between the three leads is fantastic. Plus, the action scenes are inventive. It may not have broad appeal or appeal. But with some, it will really connect. That's a cope.
Look, here's the thing. They stopped shooting Back to the Future when they realized that Eric Stoltz was not getting this character. He saw the movie completely differently than Robert Zemeckis. He saw this Back to the Future as a tragedy, that Marty McFly had lived a life that the new family didn't get to live, a completely different, universe, right? So he smartly said, this is not working with Eric Stoltz. It needs to be just more broad humor. He needs to connect with with Doc Brown. It needs to be more heartwarming and recast after they had shot chunks. In fact, Eric Stoltz is actually apparently the real Back to the Future sleuths. I'm not one. We'll point out that like Eric Stoltz, like part of his arm is in one shot. They used some of the footage that they shot with Eric Stoltz during that time. But you don't actually ever see his face. But they should have realized when they were shooting this, because studios, they get like when they're filming a movie, they're spending a lot of money. You will sit in a screening room and you will see dailies. You will see how things are going. Someone should have recognized this isn't working. This character's not connecting. Who is Captain Marvel? And one, you can blame the script, but a thing that can always elevate a script, a bad script can always be elevated by a likable and convincing actor, and that's just not Brie Larson. And you can sit there and you can call it out and you can say that's misogyny, that's this. It's like it doesn't work. And I'll just say, just having been around the industry, the kind of conversations that we have can sound sometimes cruel, except I promise you, behind the scenes, people are worse. They talk about how this person looks fat. They'll talk about how this person looks. This is why they would do screen tests. This is why studios would invest in building stars, and they would make shitty romantic comedies cheap as a way to kind of bring up an up and coming talent to go, let's spend money on a tried and true genre that even if we lose money doesn't matter, because that's not what it's about. It's about building up an actor to see if they've got the stuff to be the lead in a bigger budget movie where we're going to spend a lot more money. That doesn't happen now.
No,
that does not happen.
There's no development of stars. Well, because they're not getting stars anymore. They're not really getting good young stars anymore.
Correct.
Not.
Someone needed, and they doubled down, and they cut back Captain Marvel in Endgame as much as they possibly could. And it's not working. You can recast. They recast Rhodey, right?
Without a problem.
And I actually think Terrence Howard was a better actor anyways.
Yep.
I feel like Don Cheadle, as much as I love Don Cheadle, he's Don Cheadle in every movie.
Yep.
Like
Extra Girl hit Top Critics. Go to Top Critics.
Sorry,
right.
Gary, on my rant there, but
it's all good. That's what you're here to do.
I've said this from the beginning. She's miscast, not likable, undefined, and her character is worse in this movie than the first movie.
Wow.
Just, it's worse on every level. I feel like they were trying with the first film, but still didn't hit it. And in this, it's bad. I don't know why I'm supposed to admire her. And then you have a character in the film, Ms. Marvel, who admires and loves and reveres Captain Marvel, but we're never really told why. And there are there's so many other things to discuss, like Kamala Khan's family's in the whole movie, throughout the entire movie. They basically, for no reason, they throw them with Nick Fury, so he's kind of stuck with them, and they're in the whole film. And they're even like, they even do these little cartoons of them at the end.
Remember how well that worked for Blue Beetle?
Yeah, this is not quite like that, but it's similar to that in the sense that like they should have found a way to write them out and just have them be gone.
Yeah.
One funny scene, and then you're out, and then maybe a reunion at the end, and that's all they needed. But for them to be throughout the film, like, why are they there? Couldn't they have gone to a safe location instead of outer space in a space lab? Like, what? It makes no sense. There's so many things that make. I'll say this: if Mahler does an EFAP of this, it will be the longest EFAP in the history of EFAP, because there's so much to critique. It's at every level.
Oh, Mahler will be joining us for Friday Night Tights.
Oh my God, it's going to be a great effort.
It's going to be fun. Wait. So scroll down a little bit. So we get to Robbie Collin from the Daily Telegraph. Higher, further, faster ran the original Captain Marvel's rousing tagline. Have we reached bottom yet? Would be apt for the one for this. And the answer is yes. You have reached bottom. This is rock bottom. Echo will just be an echo of that rock bottom. Sorry, bad joke, bad pun. But when it comes out in January, I know What If the animated series is supposed to come out during the holiday season too. Not many people are going to watch that, and it'll probably be more of what if we put diverse characters into the white characters' roles? What if we have a girl Captain America? What if Star-Lord was T'Challa and he was a better Star-Lord? It was stupid as fuck. The messiest Marvel movie, says Matt Singer. Not everything has to be Citizen Kane, but there's no reason to settle on fan servicing junk. How is this fan servicing, Raph? I fucking critics. You don't even know what that fucking means. You retards. Either. Sorry, but the Marvels is where I draw the line. Oh, okay. It's safe now. Safe now to criticize Marvel. You're welcome. Michael O'Sullivan on the Washington Post. Garbage. Fucking tier. The Marvels is so fueled by fan service and formula. I love how they're putting this into fan. Explain yourself, Michael. What? Explain to me what fan service we get from the Marvels. Did you see any fan service, Chris Gore? Did they whip out a bunch of Marvel Easter eggs? Were there things the fans actually like? Because fan service is putting out stuff that the fans like. Yeah,
it's other than I would say Beast, and there's like a couple things like mentioning Cassie Lang. I don't know,
but there's just references. Nobody gives a shit about Cassie Lang. That's not fan service.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. He's just talking about references, I think.
Okay. Then call them references. But that they just cannot hide their loathing of the customer and the fan. They can't. The critic can't. Right. Because they want to be the ultimate word on film. And they're becoming more irrelevant every day. Gave it a 1.5 out of 4. There you go. USA Today liked it. The Times UK. But here again, the ambition is limited and the anarchy formulaic. How, formulaic anarchy?
That's weird.
That's not even possible. Well, whatever.
Oxymoron.
It is. They're just morons. That's all. You can take it down now. All right. Now it's time to get to you guys. Now it's time. Oh, real quick. What?
I was going to say, Ryan sent something.
Let's see it. I also want to see the Ghostbusters trailer. You want to see the Ghostbusters trailer?
Yeah,
Chris?
let's watch it.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Oh God, come on, my internet.
Oh, yeah. Like this is, so I was looking at Twitter last night and it was filled with clips from this fan event that was in Vegas. They did a fan event, right? So basically you get free tickets.
I'll share it.
To go see the
Put the
Marvels,
link in.
go to a party, maybe get a gift bag or whatever.
Put the link in the private chat and I'll share it.
Okay.
Is it Twitter can be slow when it comes to videos.
It's Chrome. There's something going on with Chrome.
Something is going on with Chrome. Like
I hate Chrome. I'm using Edge right now to share things.
Yeah. No audio.
Dang it.
You got to turn it on.
I'm not good at turning it on, apparently.
There's just a little thing with the icon. You click it and then sound is there. Is that how you do it?
I don't know. Here, let me put this over here. Then share screen.
Technical problems.
There you go. Okay. Should be fine now.
Nope.
No, but click the thing.
I hear nothing. Hang on.
Really?
I got
No,
I
it's
got,
on the-
guys, I got this. Okay.
Wait, Gary's gonna fix it?
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm gonna fix
I
it.
believe in you, Gary.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got this. You're just gonna see me share it. That's all. You got to put in a better link. Put in a better link, a non-broken link. That's why she makes the big bucks, folks.
Unless you're blocked. I don't know.
Unless it doesn't exist. I don't know. Hang on. Let's find out. Boop a doop a doop boop.
No, it's there.
It's not popping up for me. Who is it? Who is it linked to?
ET Entertainment Tonight.
ET.
It's on Twitter, right? Like it's just video. You just can't share the audio.
I don't know why it's not working. It's like literally.
Did you click the box that says share audio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a thing. There's a little icon. Just make sure the audio and then make sure it's all the way up. I'm generally not good at these things.
Let's try this again.
So, but like, see the little icon there with the audio on the far lower right? Like, yeah. Okay. It looks like it's up.
Play.
We're doing a project with Scarlett. I love Robert. He's a part of the family. But in terms of returning, we'll have to see.
Okay, my final question for you. What's up with the Star Wars movie? Is it happening? I know that's like, is it happening?
Any Star Wars movie?
Yours.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
He got out of there quick. Wow. No, I am not doing a Star Wars movie.
No, they talked about it in this book. And I think why Ryan wanted to share that, and I would agree with you, Ryan, is Kathleen Kennedy came out and said publicly that was never really a thing. Even though they announced the Star Wars movie on their own fucking YouTube channel, and they mentioned in this book that it was very much a thing. But Kathleen Kennedy said, well, a lot of things get talked about, but that was never really seriously. A Kevin Feige produced Star Wars movie wasn't seriously considered. Shut the fuck up, Kathleen Kennedy. She is just a liar. She's incompetent in her job. She's terrible. And as Gina Carano pointed out, she's an extremely petty person who will launch her minions to go after people when she wants to get rid of them. She was very much a part of what happened to Gina Carano behind the scenes and her getting fired, including damaging her reputation with lies, which is a very suable offense. I always thought Gina Carano had at least a shot. And if she did sue Disney, that's a big corporation. You're probably going to lose. But Discovery would be really interesting on that one. We're already finding like little, Warner Brothers is getting sued. And we found out now 2 occasions where they have lied about streaming. And they have gone and tried to silence critics. Imagine if that happened with Gina. Now, Gina probably doesn't want the bullshit, and I don't blame her for that. But purely for selfish reasons, Disney and Kathleen Kennedy getting sued, and us getting leaks. Or I don't know. Remember the Sony hack? There needs to be a Disney hack.
Yeah.
There needs to be a Disney hack. They need to piss off North Korea somehow. But yeah, that would be fun. It would be fun. But Kathleen Kennedy, vile person. Just not a good person. And a horrible studio head. Worst in the history of Hollywood. But yeah, he didn't really want to. The Star Wars movie's not happening. But apparently he's leaving Marvel to go take over Star Wars. That's what that rumor said. So there you go. You want to pull up here? I'll pull it up. It's not your fault, X-Ray Girl. You got hamster internet up there in Canada.
I should get the roided hamster from AlphaCore.
There you go.
For internet.
I just got to figure out the trailer is probably on YouTube, right? Frozen Kingdom, right? Is that what it's called? It's a weird name for a Ghostbusters title, but there we go. We'll try to make this as transformative as possible. Just in case you don't know, I don't leave this public on my main channel, this live stream. It gets re-imported to Nerdrotic Live later this evening. But if you hold on to the link, it's just unlisted, which means you can jump back and rewatch it whenever you want. Cool? Cool. For algorithmic reasons, let's go to... Oh, you heard that, right? Oh, damn, there's fucking music.
Yeah, the music at the beginning is a pop song.
It's Bananarama. Cruel Summer.
Yeah, if you mute it for like the first 30 seconds, I think you'd be okay.
Yeah. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, just mute it. I mean,
that's what we will do.
And we can sing the song.
We can, if we want.
No, we are not going to do that.
I don't know.
I'm not.
Singing on this channel has never been good.
I'm not going to do that at all.
You guys can see that?
That's going to be a hard no.
You guys can see that? All right. I'm going to do full screen on this. All right.
Do it. But it's muted. Okay.
But I got to make sure that we're still on the screen. Okay, we are. Good. And it's a bit muted because we don't want to play Cruel Summer. Great song. Bananarama. Good stuff. But so it's a cruel summer, leaving me here on my own. Here we can even have some
Cruel Summer.
But now you're gone. Hang on. Those movie out of Ghostbusters, which was an interesting take. But it looks like they're going for a full-on Ghostbusters movie. Am I crazy about all the kids? No. Paul Rudd, fine, but I want Ghostbusters. I want fucking Ghostbusters. Okay. But they're back. All right, so I think we're okay.
I think from here
I think we're done.
Oh, we still can't hear it.
I don't hear anything.
Oh no!
I think Gary and I have the same habits.
Oh no!
Hang on, though. I'm pretty sure the audience can hear something. Hang on, let me try that again.
It's just us.
Yeah, they can hear it. They can hear it. So you're just going to have to live without it, guys.
Okay.
Because the audience can hear it.
Well, this is what it feels like to be Echo.
Yep. Yeah. Just pretend you're deaf. Put yourself in their shoes.
For the first time in New York history, people froze to death in the middle of July.
What is it?
Oh, by the way, Patton Oswalt looks like he plays the mayor of New York or just something. He's in it. It looks like in a prominent role.
Yeah. We're just about to get to like, for one, what the hell's his name?
Oh, Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah. Not good. He was really good in Silicon Valley, and he's been an insufferable bitch since then. And then it made worse. Yeah. I can deal with the kids. Fucking Patton Oswalt, dude. Really?
Death chill.
It's great seeing Dan Aykroyd. Like, I hope he's more, like, just not a side character.
The power to kill by fear itself.
Yeah, Bill Murray's back.
Bill Murray's back.
This is the Ghostbusters movie they should have made the first time instead of that other movie. They're making this. It's a all new adventure. I don't even know how they put this together. It was such a shit show to even get. Ghostbusters 3 was long in development. So now they're getting to this, and there's just, it seems like there are a lot of characters in this. It's not even clear who are the main characters. It could be, maybe they just come in at the end, you know,
The OG
in this.
come in at the end.
It looks like they're more substantial. They're ruining the fact that they're in the movie in the main trailer, and maybe they feel like they kind of blew it last time by not playing that up. So who knows? It was effectively like one scene with the original.
But it seems so basic, bitch. It's like, let's get comedians that might have been considered kind of funny 10 years ago,
right?
And they're putting them in a Ghostbuster instead of, like, you know, scoop up some pretty fresh comedians that from now.
Yeah.
Your own tear ducts freezing up.
I just think it's funny that Kumail Nanjiani went through that whole Marvel diet, got ripped, and then never took his shirt off in the movie.
Right.
Thinking like, oh, they're gonna show me shirtless. It's gonna be great.
But at
And
least
then
he
they never
went through
did
it. And you know what? None of the women went through it. None. Zero.
The diet, you mean?
Literally. Yeah.
Oh.
No, they didn't get in as good a shape as the men because the men were asked to do it and the women weren't.
Hashtag girl power.
Girl power.
Scared to death? So cool.
That's where
It's
you
your
lose
favorite,
me.
Gary.
That's where you lose me.
The thing
Wait,
is,
what?
I
No,
love
that
Patton Oswalt. He was
fuck
funny.
Pat when it was funny until he turned into a Hollywood suck off, right? And remember during COVID when Hollywood was allowed to work, and he goes, "What are you guys complaining about? You could just get Uber Eats," while he was rooting on The Summer of Love from his mansion.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
It just looks really unfocused. Like there's just too many characters.
Yeah,
and
you
whatever
don't need
surprises.
Patton Oswalt and Kumail Nanjiani. You need the old Ghostbusters and like maybe focus on this family and maybe we'll start to like them more. I don't know. That would be
Right.
my guess. But they had to put a chick in it. She's probably lame and gay.
Gay and lame.
Yeah.
It
doesn't
look.
look.
I'll go see it. I'll go see it.
Yeah,
for
it doesn't
sure.
look like I'll see it. It doesn't look terrible. We'll see how it goes. This is kind of cool. I like this.
It certainly looks better than the Marvels.
But it looks like they're going to be fighting.
It's the new. It's the. Yeah. Well, there you go.
I like that original idea they had way back when of getting, remember Chris Farley was going to be a Ghostbuster. Get your good comedians and not just like even like somebody milquetoast. And yes, Bill Burr is milquetoast, but like get Bill Burr to be a Ghostbuster. That would be kind of funny. That would probably work. He's mainstream enough for Hollywood because I watched Old Dads. I thought it was an unfocused Bill Burr routine. They tried to like basically weave his comedy routine into an unfocused, horrible plot. Like just fucking terrible. Like but
it does have its moments, Gary. I thought it was fun.
It's got its moments, but like, dude, they should have made the whole movie in Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or focus on the work part or focus on the school part. So they had too many ideas put in and none of them came together at all. And I think Bill Burr is like lightweight shit, personally. He used to be much more hardcore, but now he's the family-friendly Bill Burr who sold his friend Anthony Cumia out. And if you're supposed to be like, hey, I don't give a fuck edgelord comedian, but you sold your buddy Anthony Cumia out, you're just a cuck. That's just me. I thought it had its moments. There, like he called some stuff out, but then there's like fucking straight up woke moments in it too, like straight up. Yeah. But I thought it was all right. We chuckled, but my wife and I are watching it halfway through. Like, what's this movie want to be? Right? The tech boss, that was that whole like him selling his company to the tech guy was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that part. I thought that part was good. But then there's a part in the movie in Old Dads where they go to Vegas. and do a bunch of fucking coke. Well, they don't actually make it to Vegas and they do a bunch of coke. That could have been good by itself. Just dealing with the school chick at the modern California school and that insanity that parents go through to try to get your kid into like a perfect preschool or elementary school that you pay thousands of dollars for. They're all fucking worthless, by the way. And the only reason they're trying to get their kids in that school is like the same reason they buy the latest Mercedes and shit. It's supposed to be, so he kind of gets into that a little bit, except not, finally at the end they go, yeah, we just put him in public school. Instead of like, why do people go through so much shit to get their kids in this fucking private elementary school that's run by some like commie, Sorry. Oh, yeah. Ghostbusters trailer. Looks okay. Fine. Well, it comes out in March. There's my old dad's review.
Well, at least there's something interesting in March. We've got that and Dune Part 2. So.
Yeah. So your theory on Dune 2 being delayed is that allowed him time to work on it more?
They were given the opportunity to push it and they took it.
Yeah.
Mainly to be able to work on the effects, and they were just not going to have the cast. That cast could give it a bump. I mean, it is a pretty remarkable cast for that film. But yeah, no, my feeling is they needed more time and wanted to take it because the movie is supposed to be 3 hours. There's no official announced running time.
I want a director's cut of the first one. I know he doesn't want to do it, but
I know I hate that when it's just give us they did that with the Japanese laser disc for David Lynch's Dune. They basically they put on unfinished effects that other people went and finished and threw up on YouTube.
All right. So, let's get to the soups.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for waiting. Thanks everyone for being here. We had a huge crowd today. So give yourselves a round of applause.
Yeah.
It's Marvel Hell Week. It is here. It has arrived. And all I've been doing is live streaming the last few days, but it's been fun. Had a good Real BBC. It was on Tuesday night's main event. Had a great Forbidden Frontier with the Critical Drinker. It was our most watched one, so hail. El Dorado for $19.99 says, heads up, Chris and Nerdrotic. Barnes & Noble is doing a 50% off Criterion films, and Amazon is doing price matching for this month. Wow. No shit. Are they 4K Criterion? Last time you told me that, I went and bought a stack. Got some good... Arrow is fantastic. I mean, that's the future of physical media, Chris Gore, is Arrow and Shout Factory and these little artisanal places. I just purchased the Conan on Arrow. If you haven't done this, Chris, you got to get the 4K Conan, the Destroyer, and Conan the Barbarian collection. Oh. It's like $70. Fucking worth it. It looks amazing. How am I supposed to say this, X-Ray Girl?
Arg, another name.
Okay, thank you. For $19.99, Chris is always frank and earnest with folks. He's frank with Gary and earnest with Alan. Hopeless Q8 on the Streamlabs side has just dropped $30. That's it. Thank you. Appreciate it. We got Matthew Hammond. $19.99 says, did you see the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? We just did. They should do a soft reboot of the series with Winston Zeddemore creating franchises of Ghostbusters outside of New York City. Call it Ghostbusters with new recruits, sketch comedy actors. Agreed. Totally agreed. I understand why they took the family angle, but you know what? That's something that might work in the 80s, but it's even I'm watching this going, a mother is taking her children into very dangerous situations where they could get sucked into another dimension and stuff. It's just like,
right.
I don't care how brilliant I don't care that it's girl Egon. She stays back. She doesn't go and fight the fucking ghosts. At the very least, she stays back at the office. Okay. She's not going to go out. No, fuck no. Duke Devil 95 gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thank you very much. Duke Devil. Appreciate it. I drink, therefore I am. Gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. We appreciate it. Thank you. And so do the people in the chat appreciate it. Duke Duke Devil 95 for $20. I'm seeing the Marvels tomorrow. I'm preparing myself for the experience by seeing a screening of Wrath of Khan and Shatner tonight. Oh, those are so good. I'm glad he's still doing the Q&A. Those are fantastic. Shatner is brilliant live. If you have a chance, if you're within 100 miles of that man showing up, you pay the money for the tickets and you go. We're not going to have him that much longer. I hope he lives 1,000 more years. But that was one of the highlights of my year last year, Chris, was seeing Shatner in Austin. I even went to Austin for it, which is a shithole, by the way. It's got some good barbecue there. There's some cool parts, but as somebody who's completely over fucking American cities at all, like it's just crap hole. Hopefully that will give me the strength to get through this crap. You can do it, Duke Devil. It's only what? It's only an hour, 45 minutes, but how long did it really feel, Chris?
It was short and it didn't feel long. So, but it was fine. That's the least of its problems. I think they were smart to try to cut it down, but I thought it felt a little shorter just because because I looked at my watch. I'm like, it sort of ended about an hour 35, but then those Marvel credits go on for like 7-8 minutes. So
yeah, 8 minutes now. And that's just on the D Plus series with a 35-minute episode. Imagine a fucking movie. Ugh.
Yeah, it's bad.
Poway, P-O-W. By the way, Poway, California, near San Diego. Yeah. Poway, that's where Blink 182 is from. Blink 182. For $40 says, "Hail, Chris. My 8-year-old loves Godzilla. Kong, Ghidorah, Jet, Mecha, Ghidorah. Sorry, I saw I know that. I just didn't know how it was spelled. Sorry. I saw your review of Monarch and your knowledge. He is excited for G-1 and the Kong versus Godzilla sequel. For all any suggestions for good media, comics, book." So for all, any suggestions for good media, comic books, movies, anime for him, I would imagine his kid. So you didn't you didn't like Monarch, by the way, just to let the audience know.
It's terrible. It's all focused on the problems of the human characters, and it's like a CW show. And then monsters exist, and Godzilla's only shown in flashback. I've only seen the first 5 episodes, so that's all.
How many episodes are there?
There are 8. So
there's no Godzilla in the first 5 episodes other than flashback.
Godzilla is shown in flashback. Like it's the
but he's not part of the new story.
Yes, there are other.
Yes or no?
He is not part of the new story. Like as based on what I've seen so far. So because this is in the legendary MonsterVerse. But I would start with that Godzilla Gadzuki series from the 70s. It's fine for kids. I don't know the age of your kid, but also start with the classic Godzilla movies, like Son of Godzilla, like the ones that Toho made in the 60s and 70s are really fun. And they are more geared towards kids. They get more serious in the 90s and early 2000s. They actually try to redo, Toho tries to redo all their monster films, but and they're much more serious in nature. And also kind of lighthearted.
Well, a bunch of us, our age, all watched the Godzilla movies on Channel 5. They would run a marathon in the 70s and the 80s
It's
all
great.
the time. Yeah, it was good.
They're
good
so
times.
fun. And I just grew up watching those. I saw Godzilla versus the Smog Monster in a theater in first run. My mom had to drop me off at the theater. This is when there was no such. Gen X really didn't have helicopter parents. They were we were all latchkey kids.
Yeah.
It's you're a kid. Don't get kidnapped. See you later. That was the parent, it's probably why we are the way we are, Gary.
Yep.
Like
do it yourself generation, because we had nothing better to, we had nothing to do. Our parents left us alone.
Yeah. But I don't mind. I made my own dinner.
I did
dinner,
fine.
whatever, and then whatever. Sorry.
Danny Diego for $20. I need Frank Gore to clarify something. Are the Marvel writers seriously so creatively bankrupt that they ripped off Spaceballs for Women the Accuser's Master Plan? Keep doing what you're doing, gang. Hail.
Yeah, I guess they did.
They did.
They did. Yeah, it's weird, but they did.
She probably hasn't seen Spaceballs, though. I doubt any of the writers have seen Spaceballs.
Yeah, it's possible.
Cardinal for $20. Something else bothered me when Monica gives Wanda a pass is that Wanda just offs more people, but she's directly responsible for the death of Maria Rambeau in another universe. But Monica holds a grudge against Carol. Exactly.
Yeah.
Josh Kelsey comes in and drops $19.99 and walks away, and that's what he does. That's what he does. Daxonar 0 for $10. Hail, Gary, Chris, and X-Ray Girl. Always fun to catch the stream. Thank you for all the work you guys put in. Could Gary say a king without a creed is merely a figurehead? Hail to the fellowship. Hail to you.
Hail.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
And I can also say that, if we aren't being authentic and we aren't being honest, it's just another narrative. Keep that in mind when you're content creating, or if you're starting out, you want to talk about movies and you're not sure which way to go. Honest. Just be honest. And be prepared, like your first comments are going to be like, you suck and you should give up. That's what my first comments were. Lucas Oliver for 5 R's. X-Ray Girl, need a yellow Batman logo on her left side for the sake of continuity.
Everyone has a Batman logo in their set except me.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, I can, Christmas is coming up.
Ooh.
Christmas is coming up.
I'm going to be going to a con. Maybe I can get a Batman logo there.
Yeah.
I might have a Batman
Chris
logo.
has the proper, the real Batman logo. That is the real Batman logo. I have, this is available at Sideshow, and they have 2 sizes. My big one is over there, and this is the little one. This is a decent one. It's decent, but it's not the proper Batman logo. Here, I'll show you the proper Batman logo. I'm going to get off camera for a moment. I'm going to turn on the light.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. You're coming to LA Comic-Con.
I'm so excited.
I had one of these in my comic shop. I recently got it off eBay. This is a proper Batman logo.
Nice. Look at that.
That's what we're talking. Now we're talking.
Ooh.
Just a light box.
Sweet.
Had this in my, if anybody remembers my shop, remember this bad boy? That's right.
Looks heavy.
It's not. It's actually pretty light. It's particle board and just the fluorescent lights. And you can replace them pretty easily. The bulbs are cheap. Bobby's World for $10. Ahoy, fellas and gal. Chris, why not take X-Ray Girl to the Huntington Library for her first time visit? Only if she likes nature or gardens, it will be a nice to show her the small, beautiful pockets of LA.
That's one to go to. I don't know how much time you're going to have. I mean, I was thinking we would go bar hopping because that is going to be way more fun. Yeah. Take her to this like nature preserve, which is fine. I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's great. But I'm thinking we're probably going to bar hop in a couple places, and there might be an impromptu meetup, but I don't want to announce anything until we have something solid.
So. Joe Morin for $10 says, I want the Legion of Memers to supercut the Black Girl magic clip with the scene at the end of the first Avenger. Instead of Carter saying, go get him, Cap, I want her to say, white power. I don't think that'll go over well.
Probably not.
They cut this movie down as much as they possibly could and still decided to keep Black Girl magic in it, says Ministry of Wrong Thing for $9.99. Yeah.
Yeah. What did they cut out?
Kayla for $10. Hail, a garbage truck falling off the Empire State Building cleans up better than the Marvels and costs less money. This is true.
Ouch.
Probably does less damage to society, too. The Grizzly for $10. The problem with getting the new comedians in Ghostbusters is that there are no new comedians. Well, you know the ones I'm talking about. They're not on specials because they've all been chased out of Hollywood. They're pretty much dead in movies and shows now. Yeah, and you have, the corporate sellouts like Patton Oswalt, who used to be a pretty funny comedian. But I also knew that this guy was all about selling out his friends. And when he sold it, I know some of his friends who hung out with him back in the day and helped him out. He doesn't talk to any of them. He just went Hollywood on them. And it's not anything they did. He just got his gig and said, fuckity bye. Marvels.
Oh, sorry, Gary. I know people like that like they don't keep the friends from before when they were struggling. But all I can say is this: everyone you meet on the way up, you're going to meet on the way back down.
Yeah.
It's all I'll say.
You separate from friends, especially when you get married, right? You know?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. When you get married, I've got friends. I still, talk to friends from back in the old days of once in a while, but they got married, right? And I moved from San Diego, but you met Jay. I'm still friends with Jay, my old friend Jay from the 90s. We're fine. Yeah. You don't need to tell everybody to fuck off. It's just, hopefully they understand, like, hey, you got a life, you got kids and stuff. But Patton Oswalt was just like, fuckity bye, went to Hollywood, didn't talk to any of them again. That's the way he is. It's revealing of character. Marvel's temp-like hiring of directors is tantamount to a corp internship program. Well, they have the writers program, so it's probably not different from that. But these interns don't even help their resume since they're linked themselves to the Kelly services of film companies, says War Van Eagle for TV at $10. You're absolutely right, sir. Here lies the toppled god. His fall was not a small one, but we did build his pedestal a narrow and tall one, says Nicholas Cruiser for $10. Hell. Three Bear Thunder for $19.99. Heroes can only be great as the villains are evil. The weaker your villain, naturally, the weaker and less inspiring your heroes. Cannot agree more. Cannot agree more. And then we'll read one more. We'll get the rest on a square up because Chris has to go. I have to go. X-Ray Girl probably has 3 more things to do. So I apologize, but yeah, we're always on a time limit. Steadley for $10. Start using Microsoft Edge. Not in a million years. Ironically, it's the smallest memory hog compared to the other browsers. Chrome went backwards like everyone else in this clown world and somehow uses the most RAM. It does. It's bad. It is really bad. If I go check my task manager now, here, I'll task. I'm on a Meta PC. We're streaming on the Meta PC. So, it just uses a lot. Cardrero for 10 Canadian pesos. Frank Gore, the Sweet Muffin. When can we expect the Star Trek trial? The Star Wars one was a lot of fun.
Next year, we're looking at doing it. We're waiting until we get to over 100,000 subs, and then we're going to announce. But question for the chat. Should we do Star Trek for Critics Court, or should we do the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I think that Marvel might be more relevant now that we're seeing things.
But
crumble.
you already decided, didn't you?
Right, that's true. It would be a kangaroo court. It would be.
Well, you're not going to make it as long, right?
No, they're going to be shorter.
So
we're going to do it
just
over the
Star
course.
Trek, and you'll have time to do Marvel. Believe me.
That's true. So, but I do think that Marvel Star Trek. It's sort of like. I mean, also there are people who are genuine fans of the new Star Trek, but it'll be sometime next year. We'll make an announcement. We're definitely doing it.
Matthew Hammond for 499 says Ryan Long, Danny Paulshuk, and Dave Landau need to be in the new Ghostbusters. Totally agree.
Right.
Absolutely agree. New recruits reboot. Chrissy Mayer as the secretary answering the phone. Could not agree more. Could not agree more.
Chrissy as Grace Randolph answering the phone.
And bring back ghost blowjobs. That I think is also something missing from the new Ghostbusters.
Ghost blowjobs. Yeah. Watched? Did you not watch? Did you watch Ghostbusters X-Ray Girl? What?
No.
What?
No.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Here's what you do: cancel all your plans tonight and watch Ghostbusters.
I wish my plans were watching the Marvels now. Dang it. But yes, I will watch it.
Mark, I'm looking at you, Mark. This is on Mark. I can't believe this.
Mark, you got to train them. You have to train them.
Trained?
You got to train them.
You do. You do. A wild housewife is a terrible thing. We don't want to be all feral and ignorant. You know, you gotta train them.
RCJ for the crazy ones.
RCJ 1138. This will be the last one. Sorry. Apologies. For $5. Gary, how can you dislike Patton Oswalt? His greatest performance was when he screamed "No" when Donald Trump was elected. You're right. You're right. A thumbnail cover that's used to this very day. I'm sure Benny Johnson has used it twice. We love Benny. We'll get to the rest, like Mr. Nobody and Gollum's half-botched circumcision leftover, Bobby's World, Hellrats 96, Eric John Pizza Art. We'll get to you in the square up. We appreciate you guys. And thanks to the Modrotics. Let's go around the horn, see what you guys coming up. What do you got coming up, Chris Gore?
All right. This afternoon, well, actually in like 40 minutes, I'm going to be hanging out with Ing the Merciless, Alan Ing. We're gonna give our review of the Marvels, and Alan he already posted his review on Film Thread. It's a 4 out of 10, so we kind of know what he thinks. But I'll be talking in 40 minutes. Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah,
Ing is a
4 out of
shill.
10 is a shill. Yeah,
Such a shill. Ing the No, you can't rhyme that with merciless.
Yeah.
Shilllessness. Oh,
but we were having a good conversation last night. Just like after the movie, like what did we just see and where is whatever. It is what it is, but we'll be talking on the Film Threat YouTube channel. Be there in 40 minutes.
Almost at 100,000 subscribers, right? Where are you at?
Closing. We're like 94,000 something.
Please subscribe to Film Threat. It's a great channel. Lots of great news. They do a ton of reviews. My boy Chris Gore is over there, despite X-Ray Girl's dad. No, we love Alan Ing. We love Alan Ing. Okay, stop the Asian hate.
Support my dad.
Support X-Ray Girl's dad. 100,000 so they can get a plaque, and then we can watch those two fight over it and see who gets it. I think there should be a boxing match.
Oh my God!
Real quick before we wrap up, a guy that I follow, David Poland. He has a website called The Hot Button, or it's like it's like one of those Substack things. He's saying, is the Marvels the new worst MCU film ever? And by the way, David is a normie. He likes Oscar movies. I wouldn't say necessarily he's a Marvel fan, but he's a normie who just likes a good movie. And he's written this insane essay just ripping it apart. And see, this is why I love to get, like, he's just a normie guy. I like good films. I like a good superhero film if it's good. He is ripping it apart. It's great. I can forward this to you.
Oh, cool.
Anyways, I just want to throw that out there that I think we're going to see that Rotten Tomatoes score get into the 40 percentile, right? I mean, that's looking that way.
Well, what's the lowest rated MCU film? Eternals?
Yeah, we gotta look
Eternals?
look that up.
I think it's Eternals.
It might be Eternals. This is probably going to go lower than that.
Ooh, setting records.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you got coming up? Wait. She doesn't like
people.
Excellent. Good.
Black Girl Magic over here.
Hey.
I'm gonna be playing a game probably this evening and debating if I should actually do a reaction to Ghostbusters instead of doing that. So we'll see.
Yes.
Do it.
Okay. I'll do it. And then at 9:00 Eastern, I'm going to be on Poor Choices with Wicked Virtue, talking about dating and cheating.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cheating's not good.
No, it's not. Yeah. People are very confused these days.
No.
What's good and what's bad.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Sounds fun. Yellow Girl Magic chat.
Oh no!
I'm gonna take the song 24 Karat from who was it that sang that? I'm gonna go Yellow Girl Magic in the air.
That's gonna get close.
Anyways.
I have the Marvels. I was going to do a Loki review. That would have to come out after the Marvels review is going to take all my attention. So if I do a Loki review, it will come out later. Be anticlimactic, but whatever. The Marvels is going to take all with all the clips that are out there right now. I got to spend the rest of the day kind of looking over them, and I got to do my horrible research and watch all that stuff. So go and watch Film Threats live stream in about 30 minutes now over on that channel. And again, don't forget to give them a sub. And we'll see you on Friday Night Tights after the Marvels with Mahler and the gang. And we will, again, this is going to be kind of a celebration, the end of the MCU. Sure, we're going to get some MCU stuff, but it's over, baby. It is over. It is over for Marvel. It is over for the MCU. It's over for the MCU. And, just make a party out of it. It's kind of sad, but it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. It is what it is, as Chris says.
I'm just excited. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is going to see a movie and can talk about it. Sort of calling him out because he's sort of skipped out on a bunch of this stuff.
He didn't even see Captain Marvel.
He never saw it?
No, he never saw it.
Well, I kind of respect him for that. Just like saying, I'm not going to watch Star Wars. I'm not going to watch Ahsoka. He's taking the golden path, as they say in Geek.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he's going to go see this thing sight unseen, and it'll be hilarious.
My personal rule, do what you want as a YouTuber. My personal rule, if I'm going to be a commentator on a subject, I need to know as much about it as I possibly can. Knowledge is power.
I'm the same way. It's like, if I'm going to talk about a movie, I need to see it. And I'm always open-minded. Literally, I could be sitting here telling you The Marvels was one of the best movies I've seen this year. That's not the case, but it's important to keep an open mind.
Yep.
But in this case, it's everything you thought and worse.
No expectations will be subverted with the Marvels.
True.
All right.
True. Let's get ready for that.
Have a great day, everyone. As you go on to other YouTube live streams or videos or go on about your life, we really appreciate you being here, being your background noise. I almost want to buy that copy. I almost want to buy that.
You want it? Do you want, when you come here, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Just
real quick. Right. I did buy the Marvels poster, the one with the 3 characters, and I'm going to hand draw. I bought a couple of them, right? And if I get them here in time, I'm going to hand draw the thing and give them away at the meetup in Wisconsin.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
So,
love it.
Hopefully I get them in time. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one, and we'll see you on Friday Night Tights. Ciao.
Later.